pintura. Sir, your mic is off. Sir, ನಿಮ್ದು mic off ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
Now you can listen. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Once again, say the lathe is called mother of machine tool. Using this machine, you can perform more than 200 operations. More than 200 operations. Nothing is impossible. You can produce all the shape, size, and dimension. And here you have the parts, that is the headstock, tailstock, carriage, lead screw, feed screw, bed, and the feed rod, and the ramp. You can fix the workpiece between two centers. That is, you can use the 4-jaw chuck or 3-jaw chuck and to torque in the headstock. You can support one end here. You can place the other end, support the other end using tailstock, that is a dead center. So you can support in between the 4-jaw chuck and the dead center and fix the tool on the tool post, which is on the carriage. From that, you can produce any shape, size, dimension. For example, you can machine, say, the lathe operations one by one: facing, turning, knurling, thread cutting, taper turning, groove cutting, shoulder turning. Like that, you can perform more than 200 operations. More than 200 operations are possible. For that reason, lathe is called universal machine tool. Universal machine tool. Many competitive examination, there will be a question on lathe. That is the universal, which machine is called as universal machine tool. Lathe is called as universal machine tool. And this is also called as mother of all the machine tool. Lathe is called as mother of all the machine tool. All the machine tool. For that reason, it is called the mother of machine tool or universal machine tool. You can perform more than 200 operations. Suppose if you are appointed as the shift engineer in a company, suppose if you want to buy a lathe, how do you buy the lathe? So for that, you need some specification. That is very much essential for buying of lathe for your industry. That is one by one. That is the length of the workpiece that can be accommodated between two centers. Accommodated between two centers. That is the maximum length that can be accommodated between two centers, and maximum diameter that can be rotated not touching the bottom of the bed, not touching the guideways on the bed, not touching the guideways of the bed. The maximum diameter that can be fixed, that can be turned between the centers without touching the bed of the lathe. And the gap, see, this is also very much essential. The gap in which the maximum diameter of the workpiece that can be fixed in the live center, and after that overall length of the bed or overall length of the lathe. This is very much essential before purchasing this. How much area or floor space is available in your industry, that is very, very important. According to that, you can purchase the lathe. And afterwards, the weight of the lathe, say the transporting of lathe from one place to the other place, the weight of the lathe is very much essential. Say, suppose the weight of the lathe is more than 10 ton, and you don't have any facility to shift the lathe from one place to the other place, then it is very, very difficult. For that reason, all of you observe here in the examination, you have to write minimum 5 specifications of the lathe one by one. The distance between the centers and the diameter of the workpiece that can be accommodated in the headstock, and the gap in the bed, and length of the lathe, and weight of the lathe. So these 5 specifications are very, very important for specification of lathe. All of you write the question. Please, all of you write the question. Write down many question papers. You have a question. Write the specification of lathe. Write the specification of lathe. You have to write minimum 5 specification for 5 marks in the examination. Minimum 5 for 5 marks in the examination. Remember, 5 specification. One is distance between the centers, and the maximum diameter that can be rotated in the live center, and the gap in the bed for accommodation of maximum diameter of thickness and maximum thickness, and the weight of the lathe, and the weight of the lathe, and the length of the bed. That is very, very important. How much amount of floor space present in your industry for accommodating the lathe. So these 5 specifications are essential for specifying the lathe. Next, come to the point. What all the operations performed using lathe? All of you write down the question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with the neat sketch. With the neat sketches. With the neat sketches. Lathe operations. Lathe operations. All of you mark it. Very, very important. You can expect this question in the examination. Very, very important. You can expect this question in the examination. I repeat once again the question. Explain briefly with neat sketches. Explain briefly with neat sketches lathe operations. Next, come to the point. The number 1, the very first operation is facing. Very first operation is facing. Say, fix the workpiece in the 3-jaw chuck or 4-jaw chuck, and make the perpendicular face to the axis of the workpiece. Remember, making flat perpendicular face on the workpiece end. Making perpendicular face to the axis of the workpiece by using side cutting tool or facing tool. All of you observe here. making the perpendicular face to the axis of the workpiece by using facing tool. And you can move the tool perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. You can make flawed perpendicular machining on the workpiece. Machining on the workpiece. This is called facing operation. This is called facing operation. The making of perpendicular flat surface on the cylindrical workpiece on both the sides. On both the sides for making countersinking or counterboring of the end of the workpiece in order to fix the workpiece between two centers, that is live center and dead center, making perpendicular flat surface on the workpiece is called facing operation. Next, come to the point, turning operation. Turning operation, that is moving the cutting tool. V cutting tool. All of you observe here. V cutting tool. And move the cutting tool against the rotation of the workpiece in the live center. That is, the workpiece is fixed in the 3-jaw chuck or 4-jaw chuck. You can fix the workpiece rigidly in the 4-jaw chuck or 3-jaw chuck and support the one end with the dead center and turn the workpiece anti-clockwise direction. Remove the metal in the form of chip. Remove the metal by pressing the cutting tool against the rotation of the workpiece, and the metal is removed in the form of tool, in the form of chip. Press the tool against the rotation of the workpiece. Move the cutting tool perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. Remove the metal on the circumference of the work by pressing of the cutting tool in the form of chip. This is making cylindrical workpiece, removing the excess metal on the workpiece. Excess metal on the workpiece. Use the cutting tool. Cutting tool is usually made up of high-speed steel, HSS. Remember, the cutting tool always made of HSS, that is high-speed steel. Many competitive examination, you have a question, which type of tool used for machining? So you have 4 answers. In that, one answer is high-speed steel. Abbreviation HSS. HSS, that is high-speed steel tool. HSS tool, high-speed steel tool. The first operation is facing. Second operation is turning. This is the removing the excess metal, and this is making perpendicular surface of the workpiece to the axis of the lathe or axis of the workpiece. Next, come to the point, knurling operation. Knurling operation. Say some of the cutting tools, you have the rough surface. You have rough surface. So all of you here observe here the rough surface. That is, rough surface may be the grooves cut on the workpiece in straight pattern, diamond pattern, and angle pattern. All of you observe here. So you have 3 types of pattern. Making the handle of the workpiece, making the handle of the tool, or making of handle, you need rough surface in order to avoid slipping of the tool or slipping of the any component or any item. You can cut the groove. The groove size may be 0.16 millimeter. 0.16 millimeter. That is straight pattern, diamond pattern, and angle pattern. Angle pattern. Say, fix the workpiece in the 3-jaw chuck and make the knurling operation in the end of the workpiece by using special tool called as knurling tool. Special tool called as knurling tool. by pressing the knurling tool, you can cut the groove in these three types of shapes. One is strike pattern, diamond pattern, and angle pattern in the end of the workpiece. That is used as the handle for tools or screwdriver or anything. Making the rough surface in the end of the workpiece is called knurling operation. The tool used for knurling is called as knurling tool. Knurling tool. In this knurling tool, you have two carbon steel knurling rollers which cut the shape like this: straight pattern, diamond pattern, and angle pattern. Next, come to the point. All of you seen thread on the bolt, and you have external thread on the bolt and internal thread in the nut. So how do you cut the thread? Say for this, thread cutting operation requires a simple calculation. As per the syllabus, you don't have calculation. Only you study thread cutting. You can cut the thread by using V thread. The shape of the tool is V form, and the angle of the tool is 60-degree. Angle of the tool end is 60-degree. All of you observe here. This is the V tool, and this is the feed direction. You can cut the thread on the workpiece by using V tool. The angle of the V is 60-degree. See, all of you observe here. The workpiece is held between two centers and rotating in the anti-clockwise direction with a slow speed. Remember, this is not high speed. With a slow speed of 40 RPM. From that, you can cut the thread on the workpiece. Cut the thread on the workpiece. That is nothing but fix the workpiece between two centers and cut the thread by using V tool. The angle of the V is 60-degree. By pressing the V tool against the rotation of the workpiece, you can cut thread on the workpiece. So the third operation is knurling, and the fourth operation is thread cutting. Next, come to the point. Very, very important. All of you seen the taper. Say you have two diameters. One is larger diameter, other one is lower diameter. So this type of shape you can cut by using lathe. That is, there will be three methods are available. One is swiveling the compound rest and the using the forum tool, and other one is taper turning by swiveling the compound rest. So here, what you have to do, the taper equation is there. Taper, half taper angle alpha equal to d1 minus d2 divided by 2L. Tan alpha equal to d2 minus d1 divided by 2L. That is, d1 is larger diameter, d2 is smaller diameter, and the length of the diameter is L. That is nothing but tan alpha equal to d1 minus d2 divided by 2L. Then tan inverse alpha equal to tan inverse of d1 minus d2 divided by 2L gives the angle. That angle may be 4-degree or 5-degree. That you can adjust in the compound tool rest which is present on the carriage. All of you observe here. You can adjust the angle according to the calculation. That is alpha. That is alpha. Adjust the angle and see that the tool cutting edge touches the workpiece and adjust the angle alpha. This alpha is called as half taper angle. Half taper angle alpha equal to tan inverse of d1 minus d2 divided by 2L. L means the length of the taper. D1 is larger diameter in millimeter, smaller diameter in millimeter, and the angle alpha is in degrees. Adjust the compound rest for 4-degree or 5-degree and lock the lever or tight the bolt. Then here you can observe here you have a circular handle. you can move the tool according to the length of the taper from left to right, right to left, so that you can have the taper on the workpiece. Taper on the workpiece. This is very, very important examination point of view. This is very, very important. You can expect this question in the examination. Say now, this is the last question in lathe operation, one by one. First operation is facing, second operation is turning, third operation is knurling, fourth operation is thread cutting, and fifth operation is taper turning by sealing the compound rest. In the examination, you have a question. All of you, please write down the question. Explain briefly. Explain briefly with the neat sketches. Explain briefly with neat sketches. Lathe operations. Lathe operations. For this question carries 10 marks. For this question, you have to write minimum 5 operations. Say you can write more than 5. Here you have simple 5 operations. One is facing, turning, thread cutting, knurling, and taper turning by sealing the compound rest. You can write these 5 machining operations performed by using lathe. This much enough for this class. Now I stop at this stage. Now I make unmute to all. Please, all of you, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Listen here, all of you. Can you listen, all of you?
Yes, sir.
You have test on Saturday 30th. Okay. Please speak anyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will upload the question paper at 9:10 or 9:15. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Keep the notes ready and write it neatly. And as in the case of first test, you can load the answer sheets, upload the answer sheet at 11:15. Okay, before 11:15.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all the best. Now I stop at this stage. If you have any questions or ambiguity, now ask me.
ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸರ್ ರಿಓಪನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ?
Most probably June 1st. June 1st.
ಅವಾಗ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತರಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್?
ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಮ್ಮ? ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳು, ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು.
ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ ಬರ್ದಿರೋವೆಲ್ಲ.
ಹ್ಞೂನಮ್ಮ, ಹೌದೌದು, ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನನಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಳ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ. ಹಲೋ
ಸರ್, ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್
ಸರಿ, ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ?
ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬರುತ್ತಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಯಾವತ್ತಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಿಷಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊ, ಜುಲೈ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇದೆ, ರೆಡಿ ಆಗ್ರಿ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಜುಲೈ. You can set your mind for writing the exams. No, don't listen any rumors that you don't have exam. They will conduct online exam and all those things. All those things are, that's all rumors. You have examination in the last week of July. That is as it is. Already you have written semesters, you know. The same way they conduct the examination. Okay. All the best.
ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್?
ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ತಿಂಗಳು ಏನಾರ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಆ ತರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಫುಲ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಸರ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ?
ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 5 ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಾ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ.
ಸರ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂತಿಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಬಾ, ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ವೈಸ್. ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್. ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ
ಸರ್, ಇದು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ರಿಓಪನ್ ಆದಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್? ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಈಗ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಈಗ 1 10ಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ? 21 ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಾ?
ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ರಿಓಪನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ.
ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ರಿಓಪನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕಣ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಪ್ಪ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ.
ನೋಡೋಣಂತೆ. ಅವರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 ವಾರ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಫುಲ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಬೇಕು ಆ ತರ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
Okay. Now I stop at this stage. Okay, thank you.